This is the second part of my manifesto, trying to explain to you exactly why I would ask you to vote for me as the Member of Parliament for North Imenti in this year, 2017. Like I said, my name is Kinoti Marete. Let's talk a little about health and drugs. There is one thing that I will never understand. Somebody buys an ambulance and then tells you that it's supposed to be able to transport people who are already in hospital and take them to a referral hospital, another hospital. To me, it doesn't make any sense. Because I ask myself, if somebody is giving birth somewhere in the villages, or maybe somebody has a broken rib, or maybe somebody has suffered a stroke, who really needs to be taken to the hospital? So you buy a 14 million ambulance that will be able to take a person from one hospital to another hospital? Well, it doesn't make any sense. You'd rather even be able to buy a small, simple machine that will be able to take someone from home or wherever he is, a mother who is just about to give birth, to be transported very fast into the hospital, or at least an ambulance that will be able to allow them to deliver even when they are still in the the ambulance, so that they only be taken to hospital for observation or something like that. It doesn't make any sense. So in leadership, what has failed us miserably right now is that you will find that the people who are already in authority, they don't really think the common man, the person who is down there, needs any medical or specialized medical attention. And that one is something that I really need to fight. Let me ask you something also. Did you know that a simple human being, a simple Kenyan somewhere, is able actually to buy an X-ray machine? And they are in town, they are all over. When you go to hospitals, you'll find somebody telling you, end up offline so that you can get your X-ray done. And then you bring it back, you'll be able to interpret. Seriously? If an individual can be able to buy an X-ray machine, an MRI machine, or whatever machine you can talk about, I don't really understand why the government cannot be able to buy that. So for North Imenti, I'll take up the initiative, even if I have to borrow from people, even if I have to go out there and look for aid or whatever, I'll set up an X-ray center that will be able to take X-rays and MRIs or whatever kind of X-ray that you need for literally nothing or maybe close to nothing. Because it doesn't make any sense. We can actually be able to employ the oncologist or the radiologist or whoever it is and pay them for those kind of services. Because it doesn't make any sense why our people have got to continue suffering. You have a broken bone, you have to be transported from point A to point B. Make sure that these machines are in the hospitals. Well, we understand the government did a good job when they tried to hire these machines from out there, but there are no people to operate on these machines. Now you ask yourself, if you really want your people to be sorted, isn't it possible for you to be able to just buy this machine and even maybe employ the oncologist or train them even if they are not there to make sure that they are able to do these kind of things? So that one is something that I'm going to sort. The other thing is have what we call a centralized pharmacy. Because we lose a lot of drugs. Somebody will take our drugs and take maybe typhoid drugs to Giaki, or take malaria drugs maybe to Kirogine or somewhere like there, or Chogo, I don't know where. But then there is no system of following up to know that those medications, after they have been taken there, they're actually been given to the right people. Now, with a centralized pharmacy, what basically I'll be able to do is I'll be able to track the drugs. Assuming now you go to an hospital in Giaki, and maybe you have malaria drugs there, but there are no typhoid drugs. Eventually, those drugs will just expire out there because they are not in a place where they can be given to somebody else who is suffering that particular illness, but does not know that those drugs are in Giaki. So you bring them into a centralized place. Then how do we do this? When you're in Giaki, you get a subscription. Let's assume that it's you're suffering from typhoid. A dose of typhoid is just fed there and it says Kinoti Marete gets a typhoid whatever, so you're given a slip. Wherever the pharmacy is, if it's in Giaki or it's maybe in somewhere in town, if you're told to travel even 20 kilometers for maybe 200 bob to pick drugs worth 2,000 shillings, and you're sure you'll find them there, I don't see how somebody will not do that. Many of us will do that instead of having hospitals without drugs. Now, so basically what happens is we have a centralized kind of pharmacy, where when we get all our drugs, we put them in one central pharmacy. So when you get your subscription, you come with your card or something like that. It has a digital code that you just feed into the machine and see, okay, so you've been prescribed these kind of drugs, and we give you the drugs. And there is no way you'll be able to travel from wherever you are to the location where the central pharmacy will be without you knowing that the drugs are available, because they'll check in the system and they will be able to say, reserve those drugs for you. So you only need to travel and pick your drugs. That way, we'll make sure that at least we have drugs where we need them, and none of our drugs, that is as given to the Nodimenti people, expire somewhere in some funny hospital somewhere where, because there's nobody who needs them. No. And again, nobody will be able to steal from us, because the records will be strict. It will show on a certain date, maybe 8th of February 1915, Kinoti Marete picked ABCD drugs from our central pharmacy. So we are able to follow up and say, okay, we had all this number of drugs and they have all been dispensed. It is not difficult, our people. It's only that whoever is in power does not really want to do this, because they are the same kind of people who are stealing from us. Because we've also done a mistake. Most of our times it's like we get people who don't really care much about us, people who are maybe wealthy, they don't think they're suffering anywhere. So whether there are drugs in hospitals, they don't care. Whether you're able to get ambulance services, they don't really care. This time round, elect people who really care. People who understand your problems. Is not because they are rich, simply because they want to help. And that kind of person is actually Kinoti Marete. That is for starters, the member of parliament. I don't know about the other whatevers. Me, I'm an independent candidate. I'll work with whoever you'll be able to give me to work with. I'll work with all of them, but I'll be able to make sure that at least there is difference, there is serious change when it comes actually to the service, service to our people. When it comes to hospitals, drugs, and all those kind of things, I'll make sure that they are available, and you can ask me questions. If after 5 years I'm not able to have, I will not be able to have done something like that. Even if the county government or the national government does not want to give us the drugs, it is possible for us to be able to buy our own drugs through maybe well-wishers or whatever, and set up our own central pharmacy, so that we make sure that we alleviate the suffering of our people. A sick person cannot be able to work.